He said the land remembers. Blood seeps into the earth and grows roots. And from these roots, spirits rise, old, vengeful, forgotten. In Biafra, the ghosts were born not just of death, but of betrayal, hunger, and silence. This is not just history, this is memory, made mild. Welcome to the Ghosts of Biafra, where spirits born from war still wander. Before the rifles came, before the skies darkened with aired waves, the land was alive with whispers. Ancestral spirits walked among the Igbo, river gods stared beneath the Niger, and the forest deities watched from the shadows. But even gods can be silenced by war. The war began with politics, but politics fed on flesh. In 1967, the southeastern region of Nigeria declared itself Biafra, a dream of self-determination drowned in blood. As the war turned away, a silent famine crept in. The hunger was not just for food, but for justice, for dignity, for the right to exist. In Igbo folklore, hunger is a spirit, thin, cruel, whispering in children's ears. During the Biafran War, she had many names. Some say she appeared as a tall, black-skinned woman with no mouth, only a gaping hollow where her hunger spoke. They called her Une Uta, the mother of hunger. She wandered refugee camps, touching the sick, guiding souls to the other side. But not all spirits came to collect, some rose to fight. Legends tell of the Ogbunigwe spirits, named after the homemade Biafran bomb. They were said to be souls of the fallen rebels, exploding into flame and smoke, dragging enemies into the bush to be lost forever. Nigerian soldiers reported seeing men with no faces charging into their camps. Some never returned. The war ended in 1970, but the dead did not sleep. In villages across the east, children were born with trade marks. They spoke to things no one else could see. Priests said the spirits of Biafra were being reborn, not as vengeance, but as memory. When a land is wounded, its spirits scatter, and so the ghosts of Biafra fled into the forests, into rivers, into SI. But SI does not erase the name, it only makes the memory sharper, like a blade kept in shadow. The refugees carried more than hunger, they carried stories, tales whispered into sleeping ears, curses etched into lullabies. The old women in the camp said the war had awakened things that should have slept forever. One spirits, they said, follow those who fled Biafra. On your owl, the sorrow worker, a tall figure clothed in white dust. He appears only to the displaced. He walks beside them, barefoot, saying nothing, but if you look into his eyes, you will never find home again. In Igbo cosmology, spirits do not die, they change. They migrate, they enter objects, trees, songs, and so Biafra, though dead as a nation, lives on as a spirit, a restless, whispering ghost. In Port Harcourt, a boy once dreamt of a black sun screaming above the Niger. He awoke with ash in his mouth. In Abakaliki, a woman swore a child could sing war songs he had never been taught. Across the east, dreams became doorways, and from those doors the ghosts stepped through. But what are ghosts, if not memories with teeth? In the 1980s and 90s, Nigeria saw a rise in what villagers call Uche Uwa also, echoes of another world. Children were found speaking dead languages. Shadows moved against the sun, and sometimes an entire compound would fall silent, as if swallowed by the war once again. The war ended in 1970, but in folklore, Biafra never ended. It became a place of might, a haunted memory buried deep beneath the skin of Nigeria. They are called Nwa Aja Ani, children of the blood earth, born decades after the war, yet carrying its wounds. The parents do not speak of Biafra, but the children remember. Folklorists began collecting stories from these children in the 2000s. The patterns were uncanny. They described places they had never seen, battles no one had thought. Some spoke of the white-eyed men who screamed like iron when they died. In Nsukka, one girl claimed she remembered being a nurse in the war. She was only 7, but her parents dismissed it until she led them to a mass grave, long overgrown. Authorities unearthed over 50 skeletons. Were these echoes or incarnations? In Igbo belief, the line between the living and the dead is thin, like mist before dawn. Spirits are not born by time. They return where the wound is deepest. These children are not alone. Across the land, shrines to unnamed ancestors have begun to appear. Women pouring libation to the forgotten dead. Old songs vibed in trembling voices. Biafra is no longer a country, it is a presence. There's a place deep in the southeastern forest where even the hunters do not go. The elders call it Oya Unde or Shishiri, the forest of the restless. They say it is where the spirits of those who died unjustly walk in silence, waiting to be named. Folklore says Biafra's dead do not sleep because they were never truly buried. Many were swallowed by fire, others by hunger, others still by silence. The people buried their dead with names, songs, farewells, but in war, the ritual is broken, and when the ritual breaks, spirits remain. In the spirit law of the East, they are Umo Aya Unwo, the blind ghosts. These are souls who cannot find their way because no one remembers them. They cry out from trees, from rivers, from dreams. Some believe the dreams of Biafra are their voices, still seeking home. But not all is lost. In the town of Ori, a secret grove was reopened in 2010. The priests poured libation for the war dead, who speak through thunder. They lit 7 fires. The wind changed direction. Birds fell silence. Then came the rain. They say that night a new shrine rose from the earth, built not by hands, but by memory itself. Biafra is gone from the maps, but in the rivers, in the red earth, in the silence between songs, it endures. The ghost of Biafra is not just a spirit of war, it is a spirit of warning, of remembrance, of a wound unhealed, and perhaps of a people who refuse to disappear. They say the land remembers, and through the remembering, healing may come one day. But until then, the spirits walk and the whisper still.